Hey, love, and welcome back. Okay, let's talk some more about these extensions. I know I've done a couple of sessions or videos on extensions. I want to talk about it some more because, baby, I be posting little videos and then you guys blow me up on these little and I can't blame you. I'm not blaming you. So that's why I'm here to address extensions and the difference between what I do and what other people offer, right? So as you can see, I posted this video on me repairing my clients' locks. And it does look like I am attaching extensions to my clients' locks, right? But here's what happened, and then we'll go into the extension piece, okay? In the repair piece. So my client ended up moving from Atlanta to another state, but the state was nearby, so she does not. I told her I could find somebody in her location for her, but she's like, I'm sticking with you. I ain't going nowhere. I'm like, oh boy, okay. So she moved to another state, so she was driving back and forth to come and get her hair done. And I do have some out of state clients, so it's not a new thing, right? It's not an uncommon thing for my client to drive from another state or fly from another state to come and get their maintenance. So she was coming to get her maintenance from me even after she moved to another state. But she was not consistent with her maintenance because of how crazy her schedule is. She's in the entertainment space, so she gets really busy, right? So she knows how to do self-maintenance. She knows how to retighten her own hair. So she would retighten some as she go and then leave the bulk of it for me, right? So she just made sure she cleaned up the hairline and kept it moving. So in this one situation, she ended up combining her locks. Some of them she did on purpose, some she didn't do on purpose. And the reason why she combined some of them intentionally is because she thought it was thinning. Y'all thick hair people, y'all lose one strand and y'all like, my hair is thinning. And that was not the case with her situation at all, because baby girl got hair for days. She got high density thick hair. So I'm like, this is not thinning. And now this lock that you combine is way too big, and you didn't even combine it properly. So of course, I'm not gonna let her walk around like that. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna fix this. So I said, your next appointment, when you have more new growth, I'm going to fix the lock that was combined, right? So the locks that were combined that were too big for my liking, because I don't mind combining locks, but it needs to flow. It needs to make sense. Man, the way she had those locks combined, I'm like, oh, baby girl, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. She's like, well, I trust you to just do whatever, just fix it. She was like, because she was so fed up with her hair. So what I did was, because she combined the two locks at the root, when she got the new growth, I was able to cut one of the, because when you combine locks, you end up with two Ys, right? Or not two Ys, but the two legs, or the two tails, or the two, whatever you want to call it. So the two locks at the end. So it's connected at the root and then the two locks at the end. So I cut one out and then separated I prepped the lock for separation. I prepped the lock for separation when it was long enough to have enough new growth for me to cut that piece off. I cut that piece off and then cut the to one of the extra locks, right? And then I reattached her own hair to the new growth that she had. And I did that on a couple of spots around her head, but I only showed that one that I did in a video. So that's, for me, that is what I call a repair. I am working with her own hair. I am working with, just certain parameters. So that is a repair. What I did for her, that's a repair. So if anytime someone is separating the lock, reattaching your lock, if your lock is thinning and they're reattaching, fixing that thinning, if you ended up cutting your locks by mistake and they're reattaching and the loctician is taking it and putting it back on and doing all this stuff, that's reattaching, repairing, and fixing your locks. And that's a repair. And doing an extension is when your hair is when you desire length. Some of y'all do it for fullness, but extensions does not give you fullness. It does not give you fullness. So if you're doing it for fullness, please, please, please don't let nobody take your money talking about you're going to get fullness and you don't have fullness, because extensions does not give you fullness. Extension is for length, not for fullness. And if somebody did your hair in a kind of way where it looked full in the beginning, keep on getting these reties, because it's not going. When your actual hair start growing out, it's not going to look full. Okay, so the when you do an extension is, let's say you're starting off with 3-4 inches or whatever, and you want it longer. I've even seen people start off with like 8 inches and they want it longer. That person locks your hair and then take an extension and crochet together and combine it and add that extension, right? So they're adding the extension to the tip of your hair, right? And there are some other ways to do the extension too, but that's one of the ways where you take an already pre-existing lock that someone made with human hair, preferably, hopefully it's with human hair, and they're taking that and adding it to your already to your hair. Therefore, it's making your hair longer. That is an extension. So people have been in my DM wanting me to do their extension, and when I tell them I don't do extensions, they're so confused. Let me tell y'all why I don't do extensions and why you need to be cautious with why you need to be cautious when you go to somebody. You want to make sure you're going to like someone who specializes or at least really know about extensions, right? Because when it comes to extension, it's not just doing the work. You have to find the right size extension to go with the right size of lock that this person is creating in your hair. So if your hair is coarse, and then that person needs to know what size to do your locks to make sure that it matches the width of that extension, because that extension that they're putting in your head, that is as thick as that extension is going to get, right? It's not going to get, that extension is not going to continue to swell. That extension is not going to continue to contract. That extension is mature. So when you're adding this mature extension to this newly started lock on your head, most people don't even know how that lock is going to turn out. They don't know how much is going to swell. They don't know how much is going to contract. They don't know what journey that your hair is going to go on. And if somebody's not educated about the hair as far as the density, the texture, if somebody's not educated about that, they can really screw you up. And then you'd be like, why is my hair this size and the extension is this size? Like, they got to really know what they're doing. And for me, I don't do extensions. One, I'm not trying to put 400, 500 extensions in somebody's head. That tool that I use it's like a doggone needle. You prick yourself, and don't say, oh, it's because you're not, what's the word? Are used to using that tool, or you're not doing something right. That's why you're not pricking yourself. People who've been doing it for years still prick themselves. Okay, so I don't want to sit there and do that on 400 or 500 locks, because y'all be asking for Microlocs extensions and all that. I'm not doing that. That's just something I've decided I'm not doing. Right. So that's something I've decided I'm not doing, and I don't want to sit here and try to figure out. I know I can, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to sit here and figure out, okay, got to get the right extension to match and I got to make sure I'm putting in the right part size in your hair. Then I got to make sure I'm making your locks the right size so it swells in enough amount of in a way that is going to match the extension that I'm putting on. Most people ain't thinking about that. And I personally don't feel like doing all that. And then got to buy the extension, make sure the extension, you got to find a company with integrity, making sure they're giving you 100% human hair and not 90%, 50% human hair, and the rest is thrown in extensions. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you find a reputable company to get your extensions from. You got to make sure you're ordering the right size extensions, and then you got to make sure you're doing the right size on the client's hair. So when you put the two together, it's seamless. And that's so when your hair matures over time, that is still a seamless lock, right? That is not looking different or anything like that. Because how your hair start, when you lock your hair, how it start, it's different from what it looks like mature. So you might start with a skinny lock, though how your hair start in the beginning, it doubles in size by the time you're mature, your locks are mature. So you have to know what that lock is going to do to know what lock to put, what extension to put on it. So that's the difference between an extension, someone doing an extension, and someone doing repairing and reattaching a lock. Yes, you are attaching that extension to the person's hair, just like I'm attaching that person's hair to their hair. But there are the other. I don't have to worry about the other factors as far as, am I creating the right size for that client's hair? Already matched the size that it needs to be. So that client hair already, that client hair that I cut out, that part is already matured. And that the part that I separate, that square was already predetermined. And I'm putting it together. So there's not a lot that I need to worry about that. But for the extensions, you got to consider all of that. The density, the part size, the lock size. So there's a difference between the part, the size of the part on the scalp, and then the actual size of the lock. There's a difference. Okay. So that's why when clients talk about, oh, I want your size locks. And I'm like, for you, if you have coarse, thick, textured hair, if you got enough hair for 3 people, for me to do this size lock on your head, you're going to need over 1,000 locks on your head for it to be this size. Because my hair isn't coarse and I have fine hair, medium density. Right? Because some of y'all strands are 3 of mine. Y'all one is like 3 of mine, right? So there are a lot of things that goes into the anatomy of the hair. And that's why I really push people on just not learning technique. You can be as talented as you want with putting some locks in somebody's head. But if you don't understand the anatomy of hair, you don't understand the theory, you don't understand how and why locks develop the way they do, you don't know what you're doing. And over time, it's going to tell on you. And when your clients start asking you questions, you're going to be like, it's just your hair. It's just your hair. That is what some of you guys resort to. Oh, it's just your hair. Yes, it might just be that person's hair, but why? Why is it just that person's hair? So you have to understand the how and the why, okay? And that is why in my lock course, I go over all of that. I go over all of it and help you understand what you're doing. So you're not just putting locks in someone's head. You actually understand why you're putting this size locks. Why are you doing this technique over another? Why are you doing why you do what you do? I'm a big why person, okay? I love to understand how and why and how things work, why things work the way they do. That's just how my brain works, right? And so I teach my online course exactly that same way. So if you need an online course, if you want to learn how to install, maintain, repair, and understand how locks develop, how and why locks develop the way they do, you really need to take my course. You really do. And I don't care if you've been doing locks for 5 years. If you don't understand how and why locks develop and your answer is still that's just your hair and nothing else that you're offering to your client, you need to take my course. I promise you. Because I've had people who've taken other lock course, the Sisterlocs course, and still come take my course and be like, wow, I've learned way more than I've learned anywhere else. So that's the difference between extensions and repair. And that's why I don't do extensions. I don't want to do extensions. Do I know how to do extensions? Yes. I've taken courses. I've done all that. But I don't want to do them. Now I will sit there and repair. I love to repair. I don't know, something about fixing something that was not right or broken. I just love it. It's the transformation for me, y'all. I just love a good transformation. Oh, like when I was doing that client's hair, I was so satisfied. I was like, oh my God. I know y'all like, this girl is crazy, but I just love it. I just love it. I enjoy it. And then my client was happy. That's another icing on a cake. My client was happy and was like, oh my God, my locks, my hair has been restored. Yes. And then she did something else where she cut the side. So I was like, okay, let me fix this. I do like to fix, but please don't contact me for any repairs or any hair appointments, because I'm booked. I'm booked for the rest of the. I am booked. Okay. I get a lot of y'all that you can still reach out to me if you're open to a referral, because I'm gonna, if people who reach out to me, I still give referral, but it won't be on my schedule. And it's not because I don't want to do your hair. I can't. I ain't got no room. That is why I am constantly educating other locticians on the proper way to do stuff, just so you're getting someone who is good too. So, and there are a lot of good locticians out there. There are a lot of great ones out there who know what they're doing, who understand what they're doing. And so, okay, I'm not trying to make this video any longer than it needs to be, but do you guys understand repair, extensions, the difference, and all that goes into it? So just because somebody knows how to put, repair your locks, don't necessarily mean they know how to do the how and why with the extensions. They might know how to attach the extension to your hair, but attaching it and knowing how to create that lock and doing all this science stuff, and even if they have to create the extension, there's still a process for creating the extension, making sure that you're creating the right size that's going to match the size that the client's hair is going to turn out to be. So there's so much that goes into it. And although I know how to do both, I don't want to do that. Everybody got a specialty, and I just leave it up to the people who like all of that, that. And I'm not gonna say never ever, because I've learned, child, don't say never, because then the moment you switch it, I thought you won't doing this, For now, I'm not doing extensions. But if you go and find somebody who's doing extensions, make sure that they actually know how to do the extensions. Attaching is one thing, but creating that seamless process and over time, making sure that journey is consistent. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I love you guys, and good luck out there on these lock streets. Enjoy the journey. Love your hair. Although I drop all this information weekly, please don't what's the word I'm looking for? Please don't overthink every little thing about your hair. Some of y'all just be like, "Ooh, this one strand of hair is doing this. Why? What should I do?" Like, don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't, just let it be. Like some of y'all be like, "Oh, Polly, your hair grows so fast. What you doing?" I leave it alone. I just wash my hair, shampoo, condition, leave-in, oil, done. And then I wash it again. Shampoo, condition, leave-in, oil, done. And then I wash it again. Like, that's what I do, y'all. I'll be doing nothing in my hair like that. I style it to show you guys options. I style it when I'm going somewhere like elaborate. Right now it's up like this because I need a wash. And when you need to shampoo your hair, it be just looking so dull and limp and just lifeless and stiff. So that's why I got in this style right there, like this. But okay, I'm talking too much. I love y'all. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, follow, share, do all that. Please share. Please share. And please watch my videos all the way to the end. Y'all be missing out on all these gems. Y'all see how my mind is? So you might never know where a good little gem will come out at you, and it's usually sometimes at the end. So watch my videos to the end, okay? All right, love y'all. Bye.